Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at several cases of police misconduct, including an incident where an abusive deputy continued to tase a bleeding, subdued suspect while multiple officers pinned him down on the ground. On December 15, 2020, deputies from the Riverside County Sheriff's Department were dispatched to a reported assault with a deadly weapon at a local grocery store. Before reaching the location, the deputies received information that the store's security guard had deployed pepper spray and a taser against Mr. Ernie Serrano, who allegedly attempted to seize the security guard's handgun. Additional reports indicated that Mr. Serrano had been moving erratically in and out of the store, cutting in line and behaving irrationally. Upon their arrival, the deputies observed the 33-year-old Serrano engaged in a physical altercation with the security guard. Assault with a deadly weapon under California Penal Code 245A1 can be charged as either a misdemeanor or a felony offense. It states, any person who commits an assault upon the person of another with a deadly weapon or instrument other than a firearm shall be punished by imprisonment in the state prison for 2, 3, or 4 years, or in a county jail for not exceeding 1 year, or by a fine not exceeding $10,000, or by both the fine and imprisonment. If charged as a felony, you could be facing a sentence of 2 to 4 years in a state prison. Regular assault, Penal Code Section 240, is always charged as a misdemeanor offense. The entirety of this incident was recorded on the body cameras worn by the responding officers.
The same guy. Hey, taser. Right, we gotta pull him out.
Taser deployed.
Do a physical. I'm rolling. I have camera.
Hold on. Not too many hands. Got him. Hold on.
In the scenario where Mr. Serrano is surrounded by 6 to 8 deputies, the immediate use of force, particularly when it has caused significant injury resulting in facial bleeding, appears to be excessive. Furthermore, the continued use of a taser on Mr. Serrano while he is already bleeding and appears to be subdued under the control of multiple deputies is particularly concerning. This level of force potentially breaches California Penal Code Section 835A, where officers are mandated to use only the amount of force that is reasonably necessary given the circumstances of the situation. It goes on to state that the authority to use physical force conferred on peace officers by this section is a serious responsibility that shall be exercised judiciously and with respect for human rights and dignity and for the sanctity of every human life. The legislature further finds and declares that every person has a right to be free from excessive use of force by officers acting under color of law. The continued tasing of an already controlled individual could be seen as beyond what is reasonably necessary, thus potentially violating this statute. Moreover, the actions of the deputies might also infringe upon Mr. Serrano's rights under the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which guards against unreasonable searches and seizures. This includes protection against the use of excessive force by law enforcement officers. The Fourth Amendment states, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The scenario as described could be viewed as a violation of this amendment, given the apparent lack of necessity for such forceful measures after Mr. Serrano was subdued.
Alright, his hands in. Who's gonna cut? Who's gonna cut? He's spitting.
I got one. Hold on. Double.
At this moment, it is apparent that the deputies handcuffing Mr. Serrano are forcefully twisting his wrists and arms into unnatural positions, seemingly to inflict pain as a form of punishment. This behavior is wholly inappropriate, as inflicting pain or punishment is the responsibility of the judicial system, including judges and juries, not law enforcement officers. It is deeply troubling to witness such a blatant misuse of power by these officers, who appear to be acting out of an abuse of authority rather than adhering to their duty to enforce the law justly. California Penal Code Section 149 makes it a misdemeanor offense when a public officer, under color of authority, without lawful necessity, assaults or beats any person. A conviction carries up to 1 year in jail and fines of up to $10,000.
Hey, but we're still physical.
Let me go.
Stop.
Please.
Just relax.
Let me go.
You're not real.
Please.
Are you good over there, bro?
Please. Let me go.
I'll get it. 15 units for code 4.
Let me go. Please. Why are you Ernie Serrano?
Ernie, we know who you are.
Hello.
Hey, does anyone have a spit mask?
Go get a spit mask, bro. Where's yours? Go get it.
Let me go. Please. You're using excessive force. Let me go.
You good? You good, bro? Okay. Hey, no worries.
Let me go. Let me go.
I got it.
Ernie, you need to
Let
relax.
me go.
Stop resisting, bud. We got medical come check you out.
Go.
Ernie.
Let me go.
Hey, Ernie.
Ernie,
Keep calm, man. Keep calm, man. Keep calm.
Help me. Help me. My name's Ernie Serrano. My birthday. Oh, my kid.
Right here. Where's the big part? This right here.
My name's Ernie Serrano.
Got it?
At this moment, the officers have applied a spit mask to Mr. Serrano. This measure is typically taken to prevent a suspect from spitting at officers, which could potentially transmit viruses or illnesses. After the mask is positioned, observe how Mr. Serrano's calls for help gradually diminish and become quieter.
Hey, let me go. Please.
What's the more?
Hey, December 15, 2020. Please. Let me go. Please. Let me go.
See if they can lock those doors open.
Please.
No, pick that up. Yeah, pick it up.
Let me go.
Don't let us go.
Get the taser off of me.
We have no taser on you, man. Relax, man. All you got is
Taser off
handcuffs.
of me. Stop.
Ernie.
My name's Ernie. Why you guys freaking tasing me?
Relax. Don't tense up.
Firm, no staff injured. You guys no injured, right? Got it.
Relax, man. Relax.
You want a glove purple on that one? Yeah. Yeah.
Let me go.
I'll be primary, it's fine. $245 then.
But hey, Sarge, they're not going to keep him in the jail though.
$245, we could do
But if we do 50,
unless we do a belt enhancement.
At this stage, it is disconcerting to observe the officers conversing amongst themselves, seemingly oblivious to the well-being of Mr. Serrano, who remains uncomfortably restrained and has been completely silent for over a minute and a half. The officer's failure to monitor his condition, instead focusing on unrelated discussions, demonstrates a clear instance of police negligence. Under California law, specifically Government Code Section 815.6, a public entity or an employee may be liable for injury caused by a negligent or wrongful act or omission in carrying out their duties. It stipulates where a public entity is under a mandatory duty imposed by an enactment that is designed to protect against the risk of a particular kind of injury, the public entity is liable for an injury of that kind proximately caused by its failure to discharge the duty, unless the public entity establishes that it exercised reasonable diligence to discharge the duty. Negligence in this context refers to the failure to exercise the care that a reasonably prudent person would exercise in the same situation. The officer's disregard for Mr. Serrano's health, especially given his silence and the physical constraints applied to him, could potentially constitute negligence, as they have a duty to ensure the safety and health of individuals in their custody.
And then yesterday we got reference to 69. Today, he reached for his gun.
Can we safely get this guy to a unit, you think?
he's bleeding.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's bleeding pretty good.
Where's he bleeding from?
It looks like his eyebrow.
Ernie. Is he high on meth again?
Is he breathing? Side delirium?
Hey, he's not breathing. He's not breathing.
Just come down.
Get him on the ground.
Drag him out this way, all the way, guys. And cut off that mask. Cut off the mask.
He's not breathing at all?
No.
Okay, let's get the cuffs off.
Ernie.
Come out of the handcuffs.
Slow down.
All right, come on, sir.
Should we put out traffic now? Unresponsive? 1 per 15. Subject's unresponsive. Starting CPR. Yesterday, so you got. We don't know what the injuries are from. But yesterday, his pulse was at 190 when we contacted him. Hey, push them all back.
I'll put that with you then, okay? I just want to make sure you Yep. You're violent, so just
You guys need help with anything? Okay.
I grabbed him. As soon as I got here, I grabbed him. Prior to doing the skirts, where the baton's right here behind you. Our arms. Okay.
Good.
He was at what, 190 yesterday?
190 when we had initial contact at the hospital for 3 hours, about 177, 184. I did, all the time. Still rolling. Yeah, he did. We need to, he's got someone interview him. His last address that I know,
Medical issues or anything like that?
I followed him yesterday, and we went over there. He refused all medical.
After Mr. Serrano became unconscious, body camera footage captured emergency crews administering chest compressions to him. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital, according to deputies. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco stated during a video press conference that Mr. Serrano's death was attributed to acute methamphetamine intoxication with fatal arrhythmia. In a press release, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department reported that while in custody, Mr. Serrano continued to struggle with deputies and did not comply with their commands. Furthermore, the autopsy revealed several contusions on his right arm and lower extremities, which Sheriff Bianco indicated were consistent with baton strikes. Next, on August 4th, 2019, Sergeant T. Le Guin of the Tybee Island Police Department was stationed in his cruiser near a local bar on the island when he observed a confrontation involving a woman later identified as Miss Olivia Simmons and the bar's doorman. It appeared that Miss Simmons was attempting to use a fake ID to facilitate entry for a friend into the bar, though the age of the friend was not determined. In Georgia, using a fake ID to gain entry into a club or bar is a violation of state law, specifically under the Official Code of Georgia Annotated OCGA Section 3-3-23. It is illegal for any person to use false or fraudulent identification to misrepresent their age to obtain alcohol or gain access to a venue serving alcohol. It is stated, no person under 21 years of age shall misrepresent his or her identity or use any false identification for the purpose of purchasing or obtaining any alcoholic beverage.
Hey, back away from it.
Hey!
Hey, tell your friend.
Get that girl.
Go stop her.
She's handing me this, telling me this is her.
At this juncture, Sergeant Le Guin approached the situation and was briefed by the doorman, who handed over the fake ID that Miss Simmons had used. As Sergeant Le Guin examined the ID, Miss Simmons abruptly snatched it from his hands and attempted to flee the scene. At this time, Miss Simmons had not been formally detained or arrested, legally entitling her to leave. However, despite her legal freedom to depart, Sergeant Le Guin initiated a pursuit. Under Georgia law, specifically OCGA Section 16-10-24, obstructing or hindering law enforcement officers without violence is considered a misdemeanor. This law could be relevant if Miss Simmons' actions were interpreted as obstructive to Sergeant Le Guin's investigation. However, the chase itself raises questions regarding the necessity and appropriateness of the officer's response, given that she had not been detained or formally accused of a crime at the moment of her departure. Such actions must be balanced with the legal rights of the individual, including the right to leave if not lawfully detained.
Tybee, we're 1080. You're gonna get tased. Put your hands behind your back.
Get off
Put your hands behind your back.
Get off of her!
Stop. You're about to get tased.
Okay.
At this moment, Miss Simmons attempts to cross to the other side of the road, but is accidentally intercepted by her friend, causing her to fall. This incident provides Sergeant Le Guin the opportunity to apprehend her. He quickly jumps on her to initiate an arrest. Simultaneously, her friend manages to escape. Notably, despite the considerable size difference between Sergeant Le Guin and Miss Simmons, he handles her quite roughly. Within just 5 seconds of making contact with her during this encounter, he issues a stern warning that she will be tased. During this altercation, Sergeant Le Guin's body camera is dislodged and falls to the ground. This scenario raises concerns about the proportionality of force used, given the physical disparity between the officer and Miss Simmons, and the quick escalation to a threat of using a taser. Under law enforcement protocols that emphasize de-escalation and minimal use of force, the sergeant's actions might be viewed as excessive. Typically, officers are trained to use the least amount of force necessary to safely control a situation, and the threat of using a taser so swiftly could be scrutinized under these guidelines.
Lay down on your stomach, put your hands behind your back. Now, you are... Stop. Right. I'll cover this semi. Sam. Hey, come on, man. Hey, you need to get the off her, man. Back away. No, man, you get the off her. Back away. No, dude. You chill out, man. Put your hands behind your back, man. She hasn't done anything wrong. She hasn't done anything wrong. She hasn't done anything wrong. Get away from me. Hey, put your hands behind your back. All right, I'm tasing on 3, okay? Put your hands behind your back.
At this point in the incident, several critical events unfold. Initially, a bystander identified as Richard Stutz intervenes upon seeing Sergeant Le Guin physically restraining Miss Simmons, who is significantly smaller. Mr. Stutz pulls the sergeant off her by the vest, urging that the force being used is unnecessary. He complies when the sergeant instructs him to step back. Subsequently, Sergeant Le Guin warns Miss Simmons to place her hands behind her back or face being tased. Without giving her time to comply or even beginning to count to 3 as threatened, he immediately deploys the taser. Miss Simmons reacts with a scream of pain, and shockingly, the sergeant uses the taser on her again. This response by Sergeant Le Guin constitutes a clear misuse of force. According to Georgia law and general police protocols, use of a taser should only be a last resort and is considered appropriate only when a person poses an immediate threat to the officer or others, or if the subject is actively resisting arrest in a manner that could harm themselves or others. Under OCGA Section 16-5-21, excessive force by an officer could be construed as aggravated assault, especially when it results in severe bodily injury or is applied with a deadly weapon recklessly and without justification. The incident not only represents a potential breach of specific legal statutes, but also reflects poorly on law enforcement practices, calling for a thorough review and accountability to prevent such occurrences of police brutality and ensure the protection of citizens' rights.
Give me this hand. Man, these 4 units.
Now, let's examine the incident through the footage captured by a passerby's mobile camera, which provides a clear perspective of the events that unfolded.
Ma'am. Ma'am. Get out of the way. Hey, tell that lady to get out of the way. Just shut the car off, man.
Please note that another officer has now arrived on the scene and has positioned himself alongside Sergeant Le Guin, aiming to further restrict Miss Simmons' movement.
Yeah, you don't either. You don't either.
Yeah, yeah.
As a woman onlooker pleads with the officers to moderate their treatment of Miss Simmons, claiming that they are overreacting, the newly arrived officer begins to aggressively shout at her, insisting she is unaware of the full circumstances. The confrontation escalates when Mr. Stutz, already agitated from previously being pushed off by the officer, retorts, "Well, you don't know either." Reacting to this, the officer forcefully grabs Mr. Stutz, slams him to the ground, and deploys his taser without any prior warning or declared intent to use such force before attempting to arrest him. In addition to breaching Mr. Stutz' constitutionally protected Fourth Amendment rights, the officer's actions may breach Georgia state laws that regulate the use of force, specifically OCGA Section 16-5-20, which outlines that officers must use only the level of force that is reasonably necessary to make an arrest or defend themselves or others from imminent harm. The aggressive response displayed here, particularly the unprovoked use of a taser, could be construed as aggravated assault under these statutes, given that it involves using a deadly weapon without just cause.
Let's turn up,
At this moment, another woman is visibly being arrested in the background. Alicia Nicole Adams, identifiable in the background of the scene, is vocal throughout the incident. She is heard loudly criticizing the officers, exclaiming, "She's a girl and he's a grown man, and you tased her." This highlights her disbelief and dismay at the force used against Miss Simmons. Alicia also openly accuses the officers of brutality, labeling them as bullies in a passionate outcry. Despite efforts by her partner to soothe her, her agitation does not subside, leading to her arrest by arriving officers. During the arrest, she is alleged to have tried to bite the arresting officer twice, escalating the tension. As she is placed into a patrol car, officers attempt to use a stun gun on her 3 times, although each attempt is unsuccessful.
Let's get her up. Alright, you ready? We're gonna turn this foot. Just bend your legs in, okay? Alright, we're gonna stand up, okay? Hey, hold on. I'm gonna find where these are on you and pull them out, okay? Here's the phone.
We got 3 total, 1095, 2 females, 1 male.
Can you find him? Hold on to him.
Hold on. Yep.
Yes. Hey, hold on to her arm.
Wait.
I'm just trying to get these untangled.
You gotta.
Oh, that's on your finger. I got you. Pull your hair up just a second, okay? All right. Oh, we're gonna walk to this car back here. Where's the mail?
Right here, mine.
Okay.
On this side.
Look, take this. Go pull my car down here.
All
right, let's wait right back here.
Despite widespread calls on social media for Officers Le Guin and Sims to be disciplined, police authorities have stated that the use of force by both officers was acceptable under the circumstances. The 3 individuals involved, Simmons, Stutz, and Adams, are facing serious charges. According to Chatham County jail records, they were charged with public drunkenness and disorderly conduct, alongside both misdemeanor and felony counts of obstruction. Additionally, Stutz faces charges of interference with government property, simple battery, and attempting to disarm a police officer. Next, on April 12, 2020, Mr. Luti Salim, a cab driver, was found parked in a fire zone at a local Walmart, which led to an encounter with a deputy from the Lucas County Sheriff's Office. In Ohio, parking in a fire zone is prohibited under Ohio Revised Code 4511.661, which mandates that no person shall stop, stand, or park a vehicle except when necessary to avoid conflict with other traffic or in compliance with the directions of a police officer or traffic control device in any area designated as a fire lane. The interaction between Mr. Salim and the sheriff's deputy was recorded on the deputy's body-worn camera.
Howdy, sir.
How are you, sir?
What are we doing?
Oh, nothing. He come here to start insulting.
Okay, do you have a driver's license, sir?
I do, but he come here to...
Do you have a driver's license,
Why
sir?
you need my driver's license?
Because now I'm contacting you, so now I need to see your driver's license.
Why? What reason you want to see?
I'll give you about 2 more seconds. I'm gonna make this an official stop. You want me an official stop, or you just want to keep it cool?
No, I'm asking you a question. What's the problem?
Because he called me over here because you're parking in a no parking zone.
I understand. I just dropped the client here.
Immediately, the interaction between the deputy and Mr. Salim begins to escalate. As Mr. Salim attempts to explain the situation, he is abruptly interrupted and asked to present his driver's license. The conversation frequently references a Walmart employee who had initially requested Mr. Salim to relocate his vehicle before ultimately contacting the police. Notably, the deputy involved in this incident is an off-duty officer who was working at this particular Walmart at the time.
Okay, can you produce your driver's license, sir?
I will, but you need to tell me the reason.
Go ahead and step out of the car.
You need to tell me, officer.
Go ahead and step off the car.
Hold on, officer, hold on. Come on. Don't force me. Don't force me. Hold on. What I did wrong? Don't touch me. Don't touch me, officer.
Get out of the car!
What I did wrong?
Now!
What I did wrong, officer? What I did wrong?
Within just 20 seconds, the officer does not provide Mr. Salim with an explanation for the traffic stop. He quickly escalates the situation by opening the driver's side door and attempting to forcibly remove Mr. Salim from the vehicle, simultaneously aiming a taser at his face.
This guy, you come and start.
293, Lucas. Start me a Sylvania Township unit. Step out of the car.
Officer, okay, hold on. No, let's talk.
You want to? I'm going to tase you if you don't get out of the car.
What reason? I am getting off.
Out of the car. No. Hands up against the...
No, hold on. Officer, hold on. What I do wrong?
Don't come off.
What I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Officer, what I did wrong?
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting.
Turn around.
Okay, hold on.
Turn.
What did I do wrong?
Put your arms on the top of the car.
I am. What did I do wrong, officer? Because the guy, he come and talking to me. What do you want? What do you want to bother me? I'm here doing my job. I'm here doing my job. What I do wrong? What I do wrong? What are you doing? Leave me alone. Officer, leave me alone. Officer, leave me alone. What are you doing? What?
At this point, the officer is involved in a scuffle with Mr. Salim, who has been mostly compliant and has shown no intention of fleeing or causing harm. Despite this, Mr. Salim is tasered without justification and subjected to further physical abuse, including being shoved and struck with the taser gun. Throughout this ordeal, he repeatedly asked what he has done wrong, indicating confusion and distress. Mr. Salim's manner of speaking suggests he may be an immigrant, highlighting a need for the officer to communicate more clearly and provide a better explanation of the laws being enforced. It is crucial to note that parking in a fire zone, while illegal, is not a severe crime that justifies such aggressive treatment. The excessive force used in this situation is disproportionate and unacceptable, especially given the nature of the infraction. Law enforcement officers are expected to handle such situations with the level of professionalism and restraint that was clearly lacking in this encounter.
What are you doing? Get me. What are you doing to me?
Stop resisting!
I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting. I'm diabetic.
Stop resisting!
I'm not resisting.
Get on the go!
What I did wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. I did not do anything wrong.
One tase. Start me. Go three.
I didn't do anything wrong. Officer, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm diabetic. Leave me alone. Officer,
In the state of Ohio, incidents of police brutality are addressed with significant concern under state law. Yet the deputy's actions today do not align with the state's mission. Of the various legal protections against police misconduct, perhaps the most important is the federal statute, 42 U.S.C. Section 1983, passed as part of the Civil Rights Act of 1971. Section 1983 allows a lawsuit against anyone who, under color of state law, deprives another of the rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution or federal statutes. In simple terms, Section 1983 is the statute used to sue the police or other local government officials for violating a person's constitutional rights.
I did not do it. What are you going to do? Over here.
Over here! Stop! Radio for Howie outside now. Radio for Howie. Use the radio. Fire line, quick! Oh, sit down. Sit! Sit! You have to throw that away, sir? Please, you have to throw that away? Well, you're going to jail now.
For what I did wrong. Officer, what I did wrong. I should not keep doing it. Why I did What did I do wrong?
How much? Hold on here for a minute.
Officer, please bother me. What I did wrong.
Already been tased.
I'm not good.
Non-compliant.
You just don't move, okay?
Hey, got him away. Got him out of the way.
I don't know why.
Oh, but you're going to show off now.
I have no idea. Right now, we're going to find out, okay? Not right now. Where the hell's my plate?
Got him.
I didn't do everything wrong. Ask me what I did wrong. Ask me what I did.
I don't know. I just I don't know.
Can I talk to supervisor? Can I talk to supervisor?
Go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Can I talk to supervisor? Officer, what I did wrong? Yeah. Tell me why I decided.
Township's on scene.
Why
Roll me
Why did you test me?
medic. Code 2's fine. I don't think any of the barbs made it through his jacket.
Okay. Officer,
Where's your ID at?
it's in the car if you want to go get it. But what did I
We
do
put
wrong?
him in one of your cars, guys?
Sure. What I did wrong? Why are you arresting me? What I did wrong?
First of all, resisting arrest.
I did not resist.
Yes, you did.
I did not. How I resist? How I resist?
Have a seat.
Gotta talk to supervisor.
Right at the end of my shift.
What do you do, Jeffrey? I'll drive and I see him go through.
He's going to jail. He's got 2 Michigan licenses.
At this stage, the officer appears to be searching for justifications to retroactively legitimize an arrest that initially had no legal basis. After Mr. Salim is already in custody, the deputy highlights to other responding officers that Mr. Salim possesses 2 Michigan licenses, a detail discovered only through a search of his car. This search and subsequent arrest raised serious concerns about the violation of Mr. Salim's Fourth Amendment rights, which protect against unreasonable searches and seizures. The discovery of the licenses, made only after an illegal search of his vehicle, further complicates the legality of the officer's actions.
So what's his deal?
Well, he's parked here in the lane. One of the Walmart people came over here and asked him to please move.
Yeah.
He started calling him all sorts of racial slurs, calling him a neck. Got out of the car, said he's gonna whoop his. So now we got menacing, and then we got resisting. Oh yeah. Go ahead, ma'am. My apologies. Yes, ma'am. Let me go get a bag for that. $293, Lucas. I'm gonna need a transport unit when you can, please. Down for it. One of the managers came over here to ask him to pull out of the no parking zone, and taxi driver started calling him a bunch of racial names, and then he exited his car, told him he was going to kick it. So they called me over. I was standing over there. Come over here. He wouldn't ID himself. And then when I opened the door and tried to remove him from the car, he wouldn't come out. So I finally had to forcefully get him out. He wouldn't stay against his car like I asked him to. So resisting arrest. And then I tased him, but one hit his sleeve and the other hit his abdomen area. Neither one penetrated his coat. So it was a deployment, but there was no contact. So I followed up with a drive stun. That's the only way I got any compliance out of him.
All right, I'm just gonna have to go to the hospital. Take him for
Okay.
They can double do it because they can. Anytime he gets tased, he's got to. Jail won't even take him till he's been to the hospital and cleared. That way they can clear him fully too.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't have that.
They're working on getting.
Hey, sir.
They're working on getting 41 rolling for it, but yeah, he'll have to.
Okay.
Mr. Salim filed a formal complaint following the incident. Subsequently, the deputy involved received a written reprimand for violating the department's use of force policy, a decision rendered by Internal Affairs. In a 2020 interview, Sheriff Mike Navarre reflected on the incident, stating, "I just thought it was bad. It was a bad betrayal of a response by a police officer, in this case, a deputy sheriff." This sentiment was later echoed by 2 high court judges, nearly 4 years after a federal court judge initially dismissed the case. The appellate judges concurred that the situation, being stopped in a no-loading zone, did not constitute a serious offense. They noted that Mr. Salim posed no risk to the officer's safety, was not attempting to flee, and thus found the deputy's reaction to be unreasonable. They realized that being stopped in a no-loading zone is not a serious offense, he was not a risk to the officer's safety, and that he wasn't trying to flee from any type of scene, and that the reaction of the officer was unreasonable, Attorney Joseph remarked, highlighting the judicial support for Mr. Salim's position. On April 27, 2022, officers from the Houston Police Department engaged in an operation to intercept a vehicle carrying Mr. Jalen Randall, a black man who is wanted on 3 felony warrants stemming from a March incident involving a dispute with his girlfriend. The event was documented on the body camera worn by Houston police officer Shane Privet.
You ready to run?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, let me see your hand! Oh, Hey, watch out behind me, watch out behind me.
Immediately upon exiting his vehicle, Officer Privet confronts Mr. Randall, commanding him to show him his hands. Without substantial delay, he discharged a single bullet from his handgun, tragically striking Mr. Randall in the back of the head as he was running away, not toward the officer. This critical shot results in Mr. Randall's immediate death, presenting a deeply disturbing and distressing sequence of events. Under Texas law, the use of deadly force by law enforcement is regulated to ensure that it is applied only when necessary to protect the officer's life or prevent serious bodily harm to the officer or others. Specifically, the Texas Penal Code Section 9.51 states that an officer is justified in using force or deadly force only if he reasonably believes the force is immediately necessary to make a lawful arrest or to prevent escape after arrest. The fact that Mr. Randall was shot while running away and not posing an immediate threat to the officer or others could potentially make this use of deadly force unjustifiable. Moreover, shooting an unarmed suspect who is fleeing and does not pose an imminent threat typically violates constitutional protections under the Fourth Amendment against unreasonable seizures. This incident may also raise serious questions about adherence to departmental policies regarding the use of force and engagement rules, especially concerning the principle of escalation of force only in response to an immediate threat. In fact, according to the General Order of the Houston Police Department, it is stated that it is the policy of this law enforcement agency to value and preserve human life. The use of deadly force shall be limited to those circumstances in which officers have an objectively reasonable belief that deadly force is necessary to protect themselves or others from the imminent threat of serious bodily injury or death. It further goes on to say, officers shall not use firearms in any of the following ways: A. Firing warning shots. B. Firing at fleeing suspects who do not represent an imminent threat to the life of the officer or another person. C. Firing at suspects whose actions are a threat to only themselves, for example, attempted or threatened suicide or to property. The actions taken in this incident could be subject to legal scrutiny and demand a thorough investigation to assess the appropriateness of the officer's response in this tragic situation.
You good?
Good.
We're good. We got one driver. Suspect be taken into custody right now.
Roll the windows down.
Yeah, give us a second.
Roll the windows down. Do it now. Roll the windows.
Drag him back. Drag him back. Quick crossfire.
Keep your hands up. We can see you. Hey, get HFD out here. Get HFD out here. Get your medical out. Get your medical out. I got medical. Where's he hit? In the neck or something. In the neck.
You have gloves?
Keep breathing, buddy. keep breathing. Yeah, he's shot in the neck. He's shot in the neck. Okay, let's start medical on him. Let's get him out of here. Let's push him back that way. We can't move him. Okay, we can't move him. Hey, get him.
The family of Jalen Randall has been outspoken in their efforts to have Officer Privet removed from duty, push for criminal charges against him, and file a lawsuit against the city. According to Houston Police Department, Privet is currently on paid administrative duty while the investigation continues. In April 2023, a grand jury reviewed Privet's case but chose not to take action. Prosecutors later presented the case to a new grand jury. Back in 2017, Privet was indicted by a grand jury in a separate use of force case. Though those charges were eventually dropped, Randall's family considers him a danger to the community. Be sure to check out our previous video where we cover another outrageous police encounter